You know, sometimes we offer artists money and they say no, they won't let us use the song. Why would you do that? Why would you turn down a whole pile of money for no work? Doesn't make sense to me. Hi there, Friday night.
Hello.
We're going out.
Yes, it's our first evening of freedom, I guess. Free to go to a restaurant.
A restaurant, what a absolute luxury. We can go out and go to a restaurant and have a night out. Wonderful. Yes. So imagine going to a baker and saying, can I buy that loaf of bread? And they say, no, I don't think I want to sell it today. Or maybe you go to the car yard and say, can I buy that car? I want that BMW. And the guy says, oh, I really don't feel like selling today. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it does sound a bit weird.
So why are artists different? Why do they say no?
It's not just a car. It's a piece of art. And art has a whole different valuation system.
Well, it does. And it's a piece of art and they're actually artists. I mean, probably the people watching this and us, we're capitalists. We're commercial people. If we've got something to sell, we sell it. And that's just business. But artists don't necessarily think like that. And sometimes I think they don't sell it because they don't feel like it today. But there's this other reason as well. It's not just that they don't feel like selling you a car. When you go to buy the car or the bread, you're not asking the car dealer or the baker to endorse another product. You're not saying, can I buy this bread and will you endorse this gambling product or some washing powder or something, which is what you're asking an artist to do. And of course sometimes they say no to that. So let's get into some specifics. First of all, some artists always say no. They just don't want to have anything to do with advertising. Apparently, people like Springsteen, U2, Adele, they say no to advertising. They're just not interested. But actually it's not that simple because supposedly they say no, but sometimes they say yes. More and more when we go and ask, the publishers and the record labels are saying to us, nobody says no all the time. You should always ask the question. So we ask the question and then they say no. Having said that, we have a pretty good idea of who's going to say yes and who's going to say no. So if you're thinking about using a song, it's always a good idea to talk to us before you present it to the client.
Yes.
And then there are the artists who say no to a product category, like...
Oh, the most important one is vegans and vegetarians for meat products or dairy.
That's right. I mean, we do a lot of work for KFC, and quite a number of people say no to KFC, mostly because they're vegans. Sometimes we find that out really early. Sometimes we don't find out till the end. We do our best to find out as quickly as we can. But I can understand a vegan not wanting to endorse KFC. That makes sense.
Yes, it does.
And dairy products. We've had that too.
Yeah.
What else?
Gambling.
Sure. Like Disney, for example, the whole Disney catalogue, my understanding is they won't agree to any kind of gambling usage.
And recently we had someone who didn't want to do fossil fuels.
Petrol stations or gas stations.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to get a lot more of that, obviously, with climate change.
Yeah.
And we have to respect their position. That's fine.
We do.
Of course. And then we've got situations occasionally where artists just say no and we have no idea why. We offered someone, a famous artist, $600,000 for a car ad once and they just came back and said, no, not interested. So who knows why? Maybe they didn't like that car brand. Maybe they got too much money already. I don't know.
Maybe they were just busy.
Who knows?
Who knows?
And then there's an awful lot of artists who aren't precious, who just say, show me the money. And we can't name any of them, but a lot of them, for probably most of them these days, it's just about the money really. So what I want to ask you is whether you have any examples. Can you tell us any time when you've been knocked back and why? It would be really interesting to gather a few case studies and we can maybe talk about them another day. So please get in touch if you've got anything to tell us about that. So part of our sales pitch to agencies, of course, is that sometimes it's difficult. But because we're doing this all the time, we kind of know how to approach it, and we give you the best chance of getting something over the line. Anyway, see you later.
See you later.